a production of the New Jersey Courts.
Constance Baker Motley. I had the privilege of meeting her soon after I graduated from law school. Did not realize, I think at the time, that she was the first African-American woman judge appointed to the federal bench in the United States. But I remember her spending a lot of time with me and two other of my classmates. She was very kind, very distinguished. I knew her as an attorney that worked with Thurgood Marshall on Brown versus Board of Education. And then as I got older, I subsequently learned all this other information. In New Jersey, I'd say Shirley Tolentino, who was the first African-American woman that was appointed to the state bench. Also, Betty Lester. She was, and still is at this point, the only African-American woman judge that's ever sat in a management position in Essex County. And Renee Weeks, who was the first African-American woman who sat in the Chancery Division. They always carried themselves with such esteem.
Shirley Tolentino. She was the first African-American judge that I actually met. I was just in the courtroom observing, and I was very much impressed. She was stern and caring, but she was fair, and how can you be all three? And she was. Judge Frances Antonin, she was also, I think, the second African-American female in Jersey City. And she, I saw, was able to balance work, family, and church. So I thought that was pretty impressive.
It was so very, very important to see other African American females on the bench because it let me know that it was a goal that was attainable.
What my father said, just do not be a number in whatever you do. If you are a janitor, do your work so well that they will know your name. And that's the way I saw how they lived. And once they show that they can do it and that they can do an excellent job, it makes it easier for those coming afterwards.
The fact that they became a judge, that there was someone that I could see that looked like me in that role. I think when one person opens a door and does a good job, then it opens doors for other people. And I think all of them did do that and made it easier so that we clearly have a lot more African-American female judges on the bench than when I graduated from law school, which was, there was one. I was a litigator. I litigated civil cases, I litigated criminal cases. And I never, except for Betty Lester, I never was in front of an African-American woman judge. You realize there was someone coming from a space that you were at, someone that had the struggles, someone that could understand on some level, not that they're going to show you any favoritism, but you knew they had somewhat walked in your shoes.
I enjoyed the practice of law, and it was a natural progression to then strive to go on the bench.
My heritage, I think, seeing people successful, and also the support from family, that's my heritage, that's my story.
Work hard, play hard. I have that for everyone. This is a very challenging profession. Be doubly prepared than the person you are going against. You may not be given half the credit, but it will be noticed. Excellence is noticed by everyone. If you do your best, you will always be recognized.
Each person that comes into court, the case that they're there on is important to them. So treat each person with respect and give your full attention to the case that's in front of you.
If there's someone who you look up to or you think has a lot to offer, but you might not be at that stage, do not be afraid to go speak to them. Do not be afraid to ask questions. And also be involved. Be involved in various organizations, volunteer work, so that people know who you are. And there will be struggles and there will be disappointments, but do not give up.